I was watching a lot of Abroad in Japan videos lately, especially the cyclothon he did with CDog VA, and it made me appreciate the beauty of the world around us. So I went outside and took my crappy Japanese bike for a ride and completely forgot that I'm living in a third world country urban area and not in a first world country like Japan. But still feeling motivated, I went a little farther and went to a place like a more rich commercial area zone where it's full of massive malls with tons of huge under construction or empty lots between them. And it's peaceful. It might not be full of nature and greens and trees like in the cyclothon, but I still appreciate the peacefulness of it. So I started wanting to go farther outside this urban area with only my bike, but the problem is, the nearest rural area from where I live is around 35 kilometers away. I could go there, but not with this bike. So that's why I'm planning to get a road bike to go on really long rides by myself. But why is that? Why does being alone with nature brings us peace we can never get from any other source? Why does it feel good? And how does it affect us? Nature comes into play in our mental relaxation, especially if you live in a chaotic urban shithole like I do. Seeing green is magnificent. When you feel that fresh air crashing to your face, we have this thing in the Philippines called amoy probinsya. It means smells like province in English, but it's not just a smell, it's a feeling. The smell of trees, the fresh air, no smogs, no loud beeps from the cars, the sound of rustling of the leaves from trees. It's beautiful, and for someone living in an urban area, like me, it's heaven. Have you ever been on a seashore? The sounds of waves alone are truly calming, but pair it with the sand at your feet, you'll feel like you're one with nature. With our modern technology, phones, computers, and the internet, the more we put a lot of time into it, the more detached we are from nature. Does that make sense? Like, there's a huge difference between listening to forest ambience ASMR and actually being in the forest. Only one of your senses is getting satisfied. But when you're in the actual forest itself, all your senses get satisfied. Well, most, unless you eat trees. This is why I don't think the future liberal ones will have the same feeling as the current. Even if, let's say, we are so advanced that you will feel like you're in the forest with some sort of Ready Player One-ass technology, you'll still feel a feeling of fakeness. We humans are social creatures. By that, I mean since birth, since the dawn of humanity, from just doing random ooga-booga noises to our physical actions to facial expressions, we try to find a way to communicate, to socialize, and to interact with others in any possible way. And that's just how it is ever since the beginning until now, and possibly until the end of humanity. We need each other to survive, so why is being alone still brings us peace? Ask yourself, when was the last time you spent quality time with yourself? These past few weeks have been tiring. Working all week, coming home late, spending 10 hours scrolling Instagram Reels until realizing it's already 1 a.m. before going to sleep, waking up early without a complete full night rest, and doing it all over and over like being stuck in a time loop in an episode of Doctor Who. You are stressed out and it's draining you badly. What you need is a break and be alone. Being alone gives you time to breathe from things, gives you a checkpoint. It's like that bonfire from Dark Souls. Think of your mental state as a magnet. The things you do are the metals, and walking around means like working all week. By walking around with no rest, you will attract tons and tons of metals, and the more metals you carry, the heavier it gets. But by just stopping and sitting and turning off that magnet, the metals you carry will fall all at once. And it will feel fucking light. This might make you feel unproductive, and you might think that I could be doing this thing or this thing or this thing instead of doing nothing, but you gotta remember that by not doing something, you're doing something for yourself. You're giving time for yourself to rest, which is really important, and I'd argue the most important part. When it comes to cycling, your muscles are obviously put to work, but it does not mean only your muscles can benefit from this, but also your mind. You see, we have this thing called endorphins. This is what we call the feel-good chemicals. This is what our body releases whenever we do something that will make us feel, good. Examples are eating delicious foods, a good massage, any physical exercise, etc. You get the point. Endorphins can help alleviate depression, can help reduce stress and anxiety, and can also boost confidence and improve our self-esteem. Endorphins can also cause runner's high. It's that feeling of relief or happiness after an intense exercise. According to Healthline.com, runner's high is a brief, deeply relaxing state of euphoria. Euphoria mentioned.
Euphoria.
Sorry, that was weird. Let's move on. Taking these two into account, we have ourselves a weapon of endorphins, a weapon of relaxation and satisfaction. By combining these two, we can achieve a feeling like nirvana. In conclusion, just like my analogy a few minutes ago, our minds are like magnets, and every day, we constantly attract metals, like responsibilities, worries, expectations, and the more we carry metals, the heavier we feel, and the slower we move through life. But solitude, or being alone, is like a power off for our magnet. It lets our metals fall down, and in those moments, we remove the feeling of responsibility, our worriness. So, embrace the moment and let it gently release you from the grip of life's magnetic pull. Magnets are weird. Think about it. These so-called scientists keep saying when asked about magnets that there's this thing called magnetic field or something that we don't see, and we just have to believe it that it's there, and what causes the magnets to attract shits. I mean, there's no way that magnets have something to do with Earth. I mean, the smallest magnets are less than the size of a finger, and you're telling me the other side is attracted to the North Pole and the other is to the South Pole? That's like 50 billion miles away. I have this conspiracy that magnets are government-made and were just leaked, and they have to decide between doing the Men in Black painting or just saying, oh yeah, that's normal and it's been there for billions of years. But I ain't believing that. You can make me believe that the moon isn't made out of cheese, sure, but magnets? Nuh-uh. That's too far. You're going past the line between reality and fiction, and magnets? Those things are not even in science fiction, those are just fiction. Listen, government. I will someday expose the truth about these so-called magnets. I will find the truth. And just like a man cycling towards the summit of a mountain, I will push through and find that evidence I need, no matter what.